Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1130 of One Piece. If this is your first time on my channel or you've been here before but haven't done so already, would greatly appreciate if you could like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. Alright guys, chapter 1130 of One Piece, The Accursed Prince. I am so hyped. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been a little drained. These last few chapters of One Piece, I've kind of wanted to like let stack up and build and kind of like read them as a fan and instead of a content creator, and it has been wearing on me. I've been getting burnt out of these videos for a while. This channel was not supposed to be exclusively a One Piece channel, and for those of you that have been here early, back when I reviewed the likes of My Hero Academia and Dr. Stone and stuff like that, it was supposed to be more eclectic, and I kind of want to talk about way more stuff. Like the Penguin TV show on HBO Max is doing phenomenal. I want to talk about Spider-Man and how they want to Spider-Man 4 is going to be more multiversal stuff. So this 6-month hiatus from the anime, which I don't even really review, and this 2-week break for Oda to like plan One Piece is honestly coming at a great time for me. Gonna allow me to relax. I don't know if I'm gonna post content during that time. If I do, I have a folder in my phone of like 70 video ideas that I made like 2 years ago when I first started this channel. So like it might be time to start cracking into that and just releasing them and just saying F it, let's go. Or you know, talking about, you know, some other series, or maybe doing like an OD weekly roundup where I just talk about like various, I think that might be the best until I can just figure out how to structure what I want to structure a little bit better. But just a weekly roundup of like what I'm a media file, so I'm watching stuff all the goddamn time. Whether it's live action, manga, anime, light novels, webtoons, what have you. And so maybe I'll just talk about what I'm currently just working on and shoot the shit with you. Anyway, back to this chapter review. Super exciting chapter. So much happened, and I'm excited to talk about it. So we have a cover story, and someone is stealing Yasue's blade from Yamato while she sleeps. Now, I think that's kind of crazy. How are you going to let this happen? Where's your observation hockey at? Clearly, she's not at the point where she can use it passively. But I do like this for the simple fact that, okay, now she really has to do something. I feel like this entire time she's been kind of keeping an eye out for, like, robbers and what have you. But, like, now that this sword is gone, like, she is going to have to go and track and find the motherfucker who did it. So now we'll finally get the solution to like who's kidnapping girls and like where is the craftsman, I forget his name at the moment, and stuff like that. So we get back. So starting with the chapter, we have everyone back on the Great Eric, I believe it's called, and basically Frankie and the rest of the Straw Hats are like, look, we're not going to find them. They're not here. Let's just go on. So it's one of those things where like when you're lost or whatever, you do one or two things. You either stay exactly where you are and allow people to come find you, or you go on to the rendezvous point, right? And it really seems like we all know we're trying to go where? To Elbaf. So if there's any place that's most likely for all of us to meet up, it's Elbaf. We get separated all the time. We're used to this shit. Let's just get it going because they're obviously not here anymore. Something strange, something weird happened. Something notable that I would say is this green mist that Roto talked about last chapter. Dorian Broggy and none of the other giant pirates seem to bring up at all. Seem to be like, you know what? It's a possibility that we passed the sleepy mist. No, like no one brings that up at all. So I'm wondering, you know, times change, climates change, weather conditions change. Dorian Broggy had been gone for quite some time. Hasn't their duel been 100 years or something like that? So like during that time, maybe there's a new weather phenomenon that they're just simply unfamiliar with, and that is like why they're not bringing up or saying anything about it. So we head back to Luffy and the crew, and we finally get it confirmed that we are in Elbaf, and I'm so hyped for it. I'm so excited for it. I said in one of my earlier reviews that like we have to be in Elbaf. I'm not really trying to do a side story thing. I'm not trying to be in a side precursor island. We had the side precursor island. Like this better be a situation where like this isn't Elbaf, but we are in Elbaf, you know what I'm saying? And so that does seem to be the case. And also something I was thinking of was the fact that, okay, Roto is the navigator of the new giant pirates, right? Nami is the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates. Last chapter or two chapters ago, we had this kind of throwaway panel where she throws away the map. Usopp is freaking out, and she's like, "No big deal, no worries. I have it memorized already, right?" So my thing is like, what if that town that Roto made was an exact replica of all of Elbaf, and the sun god that he is masquerading around is actually him pretending to be Loki, and that's why he has the horns or whatever. Like, I don't know why he went that direction. He seems like really good about his like cosplaying and his modeling, so you would think he would have something more akin to the Loki we see later. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. But there's this big thing about being a sun god. It reminds me of DeMarco Black and just like all the false gods. Once again, the parallels with Skypiea, one of my favorite arcs, are coming back and coming through again. So that's really interesting. So anyway, we see Gerd and Goldberg, and they're looking for Roto, and Gerd is just roasting Roto, saying like, I know Loki's supposed to be the worst, but I think Roto is the worst. Why did we let him join the crew? Blah blah blah. Just talking all that hot shit. And I didn't realize this, but I think we've seen Gerd before in the Big Mom flashback and story. Also, I completely either forgot or was not aware that Hajrudin or Hyrudin, however you pronounce it, I love to say both. I didn't know that he was like a prince. I didn't know that he was like royalty or anything like that. The way they talk about it is kind of like Game of Thrones-ish, where it makes it seem as though, what's it called? Like, he's not, he's like a bastard of some sort. So I'm really interested to find out more about that aspect. I'm not sure if it's something Oda just like forgot or he intentionally left out. I feel like it's intentionally left out, especially with the fact that like Hyrudin is greatly indebted to Luffy, is a worshiper of, like, you know, is a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. So like, for Luffy to have another prince or another kingdom under his belt, I think it's going to be really important for the overall story. Now, I do think it is super sad that they, like, the rest of the crew did not let Luffy say hi, because had they let him say hi, they would have easily been able, like, this arc or this portion of the arc would have been on easy mode. They would have recognized this as Luffy. Everyone is pretty much, besides Roto, everyone else seems to be pretty cool with Luffy, with them serving Luffy as the what's it called, Straw Hat Grand Fleet. So like, this would have like made the arc super good. But Oda, obviously, with his writing, was like, no, I need them to not meet. I need them to not interact. Otherwise, so many things with this plot go wrong, and so they remain hidden, right? They're crossing this giant bridge, and I love that we get some like callbacks and we get some like character moments from a lot of the characters. Chopper mentions how he used to cross rope bridges all the time, and we had that flashback. Like, honestly, this, what they're doing is scary because they have to cross these massive gaps in the road, in the bridge. But like, I remember like, I vividly when Chopper had to like run across that small tiny ass rope. Actually, no, they were big ropes. They were big ropes. I'm actually now, like, it's crazy. As I'm doing this review, I'm remembering that, like, yeah, I think they were pretty big ropes. And now I'm wondering if, like, maybe giants used to be around, you know, Drum Island or something like that as well. That would be very interesting. And if there's kind of a callback to that, and maybe some kind of comparison with, you know, Koreha and how old she is, right? And so we have Chopper saying that we have Usopp, who's just trying to build the courage to get across. And honestly, I would be like Usopp, slowly crawling across, just hoping I don't fall, because I am freaking terrified. Anyway, back to the Thousand Sunny and the Great Eric. No, sorry, not the Great, not the Thousand Sunny, because that's over at Elbaf right now. The Great Eric, they are reading the newspaper, and Dory and Broggy are informed of their increased bounty, which has gone from like 100 million berry to 1.8 billion berry. So like, freaking talk about inflation. And I love the fact that there is inflation. I love that Oda put this in the series, because long story short, like, there have been bounties that did not make sense in the past, and I'm not talking about the suspended Shichibukai bounties. I'm just talking about like the other some other bounties. And now that we know that, okay, so there's inflation sometimes if a pirate goes inactive, or just something the world government isn't worried about, their bounties are going to like stagnate. And so I find that to be a really really cool, poignant part of One Piece, and something in the lore that can help explain some of these outdated bounties that we might have seen throughout the entire series. So unfortunately, Luffy and crew were framed for the murder of Vegapunk. I like how Lilith tries to play into it, like, oh, so you guys killed me, huh? That was kind of funny. We gotta love our gags. And there was this one part, and I'm gonna be real with you, I felt like an idiot. I felt like an idiot because I was like, why is, like, what's going on with this X? Like, what are they talking about this X for? Blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I realized, oh, I'm so stupid. Freaking Vivi right now is with Morgan's, right? And so they had the whole X thing with, Mr. Two, so that they, to showcase a symbol of their friendship. But on top of that, to differentiate themselves. Well, that wasn't the original goal, but they used it later to differentiate themselves so that they would know if Mr. Two was impersonating them and whatnot. So this is basically a stealthy SOS from Vivi to the Straw Hats, and now we have an explanation for why Oda split up the crew. A lot of content creators were just kind of on this nostalgia wave of Oda just wants to give character moments to the original Straw Hats, which obviously two birds, one stone, he's probably going to do. He's obviously going to do. But now we have like some really deeper in universe context for why this happened, and that's just simply because everyone that would know what the X means is gone. So I think a bunch of people feel like Vivi is going to show up in Elbaf. If that happens, I'm cool with it. That's fine. I'm thinking it might be a post Elbaf thing. It might be kind of a Marineford Part 2 where we have to save Vivi. Vivi is really important. She's a Nefertari. We don't know how much, Emu doesn't know how much crocodile, sorry, why did I say crocodile? Cobra, King Cobra has conveyed with her, shared with her. Maybe Vivi is part of one of the ancient weapons and is vital to activating them. Maybe her power is necessary. Maybe her lineage is necessary. So Luffy and crew are going to have to save her, and she is an honorary Straw Hat. So we have to go and get it. So I cannot wait for that moment when they see that newspaper. Robin probably is going to have to be the one to showcase that. I love how Robin's kind of on the cusp of being there. She joined literally post after that. So she wasn't there when they originally did all the signs and whatnot, but she was around like right after. So that's why she's like, it seems familiar, but like, I can't put my finger on it because that was years ago, right? And so much has happened since then, and it was a rather, to her, insignificant thing. Oh, speaking of, there was a question about where did they get this photo from. I have no clue. My boy Tekking thinks it's irrelevant. I like one theory that it was Stussy. Stussy, we saw back when they met up, I think for, was it Reverie or whatever, that she has some kind of relationship with Morgan's. So maybe she figured the best place for her to flee is to Morgan's flying, whatever. That's be the safest place. How she found him, maybe there's close enough. She has a Vivier card or whatever. She gets up there, links up with them. Vivi gives that message. She shows up. Maybe Vivi conveys to Stussy that she's a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, or that she's friends with the Straw Hat Pirates. Stussy, as a thank you to the Straw Hat Pirates for everything they did for her, for saving her, for saving Vegapunk, is like, I know where they're heading next. They're going to Elbaf. Let me take you. And maybe that's how Vivi gets to Elbaf. Who the hell knows? But I find that to be really interesting, and I just love like Oda's writing right now is really really nice. It's just one of those things where it's like all coming together type shit. This is like the shit I live for when it comes to One Piece, and I'm loving it right now. At least lore piece wise, I'm still all down for the adventure, but this was an incredible chapter with tons and tons of reviews. We also find out in this chapter that it was originally Hadrudin and the other new giant pirates that were supposed to come and pick up Luffy from Egghead. However, Dory and Bragi have seniority over them, and so they basically said, hell no, we're gonna go. And thank God for that. Thank absolute God for that, because they would have been murked. Hadrudin and crew would have been murked. It would not have stood a chance. The Goro saying all that shit, Kizar, it would have been it was significant losses and casualties. So thank God for seniority and ageism and stuff like that right now. Normally I hate that shit, but it worked out right now. So we are very appreciative of that. So anyway, we have my favorite moment of the chapter coming up next, and it is the reveal of Prince Loki, the accursed child. And can I just fucking say, oh my god, he has such a cool character design. Loki looks fucking fire as hell. I fucking love him. I was not expecting this. I was expecting a dweeb. I was expecting the fucking picture we saw, because it wasn't a silhouette, it was an actual character, and I just thought like Loki was like a dweeb, like a dorpy, whatever. Like, that is insane to me. He looks like this, and now it just confirms something I've wondered for a long time when it came to like Vegapunk and like the Yonko and all this other stuff. Oda draw, he's just bullshitting, bro. He's just bullshitting. When I say bullshit, it's like, I'm not saying making it up, but like at the time he just puts a placeholder image and it has nothing to do with the real image. I this whole time was thinking it had something, it was gonna like be akin to the like actual thing. I just think it's on purpose, because once again, when it comes to this kind of thing, like, I think Oda tries to like break the fourth wall a little bit with some of this stuff, right? And he kind of wants us to experience what it is for the rest of the One Piece inhabitants to not really know what's going on. We hear these stories, we hear these tales, but we don't actually get to know these people. We don't get to meet these people until we actually do, through the eyes of Luffy and the crew. And so, like, I love, like, if you frame it from that way, I could definitely be coping, but when you frame it that way, I think it's just really cool and really unique and something that just adds to the story of One Piece, right? So anyway, Luffy has been hearing this dude this entire time. He said he's been hearing a roaring. Now, I'm wondering if it's an actual roaring or if it's a voice of all things kind of thing, and he is hearing Loki's, what's it called? Voice of all things. He's reacting to his hockey, right? And so immediately I'm thinking this dude is evil. We're hearing the backstory being told to what's it called? The Straw Hat Pirates, about Loki and how it took all of the giants to subjugate him. And that is crazy, because from what we've been told time and time again, the giants are goated, right? The giants are the strongest. They're not only are they like the biggest and strongest, they're like fierce warriors. And so for this place with the strongest warriors to have this one warrior that took all the other warriors to subjugate just speaks and goes to show how freaking powerful Loki is. And there's so many parallels here. One, it reminds me of Kaido's upbringing and just how much stronger he was in his kingdom, right? It reminds me of Big Mom and how much stronger she was and how she was able to murk like so many of the giants, and like she could not be contained too. And something that I've been wondering, and this brings me back to like what I was mentioning about Kureha, Big Mom, Kaido. I don't know if those are Loki's actual horns or if that's part of his helmet, but like I'm getting to this point where it's feeling like at some point it's going to be explained to us that all the races are the same, or all the races came from like one person, and the evolution stuff made them like express their genes different, and that's what led to like giants and ancient giants, blah blah blah. But I'm kind of thinking that like buccaneers and what have you and all this stuff are just like ancient giants or something. And ancient giant blood just like does incredible things for you, and all like the main characters we know have this like blood running through their blood. So whether that's true or not, I haven't the faintest, but I'm just seeing so many illusions, like especially when it comes to these just like prominent, really strong figures. And right off the jump, I was like, this dude is evil. He's clearly evil. He's strong. He's gonna get in a fight with Luffy. But after I reread a couple times, I was like, what if it's once again just another red herring? This dude, maybe he's misunderstood. Maybe he's being too cool for school. Personally, I would love for that to happen, because Loki for Straw Hat. Anytime I see someone cool and powerful, get on our crew. Get on our crew. Get on our crew. Come with us. Because, like, this dude is fire, bro. Can you imagine if the Straw Hats, like, I feel like almost every prominent crew has, like, a giant or something. And I would really, really like it if we had a giant, okay? If not on the crew, at least in the fleet. I will accept the fleet. Once again, we're making a lot of relationships with royalty, different kingdoms and whatnot. So you know what? Maybe maybe the series, this arc ends with Loki ascending to the throne, becoming the king, but he isn't the king he isn't what everyone feared. He's not what like people thought he was. He's actually like a better person, and he is the right person to be at the head of Elbaf, because he can protect and defend Elbaf, right? So I cannot wait to see what happens with this. we're being told stuff like and he could be framed, it could be lying, I don't fucking know. But we're being told that he killed his dad over this devil fruit and rampaged and what have you. And I'm wondering if that's something that that people have witnessed, bore witness to, and saw for themselves, or if he was framed and set up. Maybe they were trying to kill him. It's an Agatha all along situation where the coven tried to kill her, and she was just so powerful. Her powers responded in a way that killed them, but she was left holding the bag, and now she looks bad, right? So my guess, I guess we're gonna do the guessing game of what devil fruit is. I hope it's the mythical Zoan Fenrir. Okay, there was a lot of illusions in this chapter with wolves. We had Loki with the tongue out. We had the wolves. Fenrir Wolf is also a child of Loki from North. Oda loves to do his mythologies and stuff like that, but also change them up and fuse them and remix them. So it could definitely be something like that. It could be Fenrir. Only thing I don't like about Fenrir is Yamato already is like an ancient wolf already, and then we had the other wolf that had the mythical Zoan human fruit. Gebi, Gem, Onimaru, Gabimaru. I forget what the name of the thing was. So we do have quite a fair bit of wolves, but I still think it would be cool if it was Fenrir, and like the whole thing about he's the sun god, and once he gets out his chains, he's gonna like destroy Elbaf or whatnot. Sounds a lot like Ragnarok to me, and Fenrir being in chains to me. So I do like a lot of this like illusions and stuff that Oda is doing in this chapter right now. This is gonna be fire. I'm so fucking hype. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about this chapter? Okay, real quick. While I was editing, actually not editing, I finished the video and I was literally uploading it, but I stopped it because I wanted to add 2 points that I realized I missed. One, I feel like the title of strongest in One Piece is going to get exposed. I keep telling people, once again, like earlier in this video, I talked about like from the perspective of the people in this world, they hear these things and they assume these things as truth. And so when it comes to title of the strongest, I'm thinking like we don't really know what that is, what that means, because I know everyone and their mom is like Mihawk is the strongest swordsman, and if that ends up being truth, I am okay with that. But I'm just saying, I feel like it's one of those things where he's the strongest known swordsman, right? And you know, we have Samurai Gandhi up there. We don't know how strong he is. We have, you know, the Holy Knights. So we got what's his name? Garling. We don't know how strong he is. We can assume he's very strong because when we last saw him, he was incredibly strong. Shanks's brother or his son or whoever we think that person is. So like, and he uses a sword. So when it comes to world's strongest, it's world's known strongest, or at least that's my theory. Like we just slap these labels and people conquer it, but like you haven't been everywhere, you haven't met everyone. And just how like Enel in Skypiea thought he was like the strongest ever, he was a god, but then like we know because of hockey and just so much other shit in the world, like other people would slap her around, like Katakuri would give like Enel the fucking business, right? You know, Enel's still one of my favorite characters. I think we have a juxtaposition here with Loki, where Loki really is that guy. Like Loki is him, and like he is just isolated in this place, in this world of Elbaf, and where you know, other people don't really know about him, can't approach him, can't fight him, and so they don't know how strong this dude is. Because once again, to be able to fend off the entirety of the Giants, like greatest warriors, all of their warriors, is insane. That's not a light feat to be said, and you can assume these Giants know hockey and stuff like that. So that's wild to me. That's honestly insane. Also, something I'm noticing is just like there seems to be some like commonality with these really insular countries, and like and once again back to lineage, you have Elbaf, this insular country, you have Wano, this insular country, and they seem to have these really noted things that like date way back, and maybe that's part of why they're so insular. Maybe they're really important to like what needs to happen. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about was, as I was uploading this video, I was trying to figure out like what quirky, clever name to, you know, put up, as I do sometimes in these videos. And I was gonna put Ragnarok, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is like, Ragnarok is all, he might be Fenrir and he wants to get out and destroy the world and blah blah blah. But I was like, this isn't really Ragnarok. This is like the precursor to Ragnarok. I wonder if there's like a term or a phrase or something for that. And so I went, and there it is. It's called Fimbulwinter, which is now what I'm making the title of this video. And it got me thinking about like how motions are set up for Ragnarok, and not just in like this arc of Elbaf, but in the grand scheme and world of One Piece in general. Because I'm seeing this common occurrence, right? So Loki says what he wants to destroy the world. I think Roto, when he was cosplaying as the sun god, he was cosplaying as a different sun god. I think what's happening here is all these insular countries. You got the Fishmen, you got Elbaf, you got Wano, right? They all have some kind of lore about the sun god, right? And I think you have the old giants that knew what he looked like in his white form, but I don't think the Fishmen and the people from Wano know. But they so it might be one of these things where Nika isn't the sun god, but he is someone that was regarded as one, or was like a Kaido or a Luffy back in the day that wanted to be the sun god. um you remember how Kaido was like, I want to be Joy Boy. I'm trying. You think oh, that's me. I could be him. Maybe it's something like that for all these other people in the world that are pretending to be a sun god. So Loki, according to the prophecy or lore, because we know they're like the same person that predicted Luffy, Madame Shirley, would destroy Fishman Island. We know that like psychics exist, and like there's observation hockey. So maybe throughout history and time, there have been other psychics always regurgitating this prophecy about a sun god coming and destroying the world, and we don't know what it is. And so different people took on that label, different people took on that thing. And maybe it's possible that like the only sun god fruit isn't just Nika was just one. Maybe once again Loki really wanted this Fenrir fruit because he believed that it would help him destroy the earth, just like the legends of either Fenrir and Sun God, and he maybe thought the legends were similar. Maybe, I don't know. So like it just seems like a lot, because Kaido thought he could be Joy Boy and thought like to be legendary and like destroy the world. Loki wants to destroy the world. There's a prophecy that Luffy's going to destroy the world, and he's Joy Boy. So there's just so much happening right now, and I think this is all an illusion for the world actually being Ragnarok. We're gonna have a version, a precursor, like an early version of Ragnarok, but then like finding the One Piece and all that is going to be the actual Ragnarok, and we're gonna finally find out like what did Madame Shirley see when she talked about Luffy bringing about the destruction of Fishman Island. Also, last random ass thought, has nothing to do with anything, but Fenrir, I was saying, is the devil fruit I wish I want Loki to have, and Jormungandr is the other child of Loki, is the red line, and so I'm wondering if Oda's gonna do anything with that. All right, peace. I'm out. Okay, I lied. So last thing. So with the whole cycle of destruction and rebirth, what if there is potentially, I don't think this is really the case because it overcomplicates things a lot, but what if this is the case where like we're constantly colonizing different planets? Um these people are never people like Emu and such are never satiated. They destroy this entire planet, move to a new planet, reap the resources, subjugate the people. They have to start culling again. Some of the Celestials become normal people again. And it's just a vicious cycle of destroying the planet and then having to go to a new planet. Maybe you know how Leloucia disappeared. Maybe Uranus isn't actually destroying things, but it's like a super teleporter, and it's like sending things ahead to get them colonized. Who knows? I don't know. Crackpot theories just flying. I gotta get. I should. The last thing. I'm finishing the video. Chapter with this giant, amazing picture of Elbaf. It looks to be one giant tree that supports all of the world. There seems to be a mountainous area on the bottom. This giant sword being stuck through. Wonder what the story behind that is. There's a rainbow. There's a city on the second floor to the left. I'm wondering if this is all of the tree, or maybe the bottom two floors, kind of like a Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing, kind of like how we had in Skypiea. So like there are already clouds on the very bottom, like at the very top of the mountains, so they are like super super high up. Once again, there's two tiers of bushes, but there could be more, and each tier could be like a different guard, right? Or a different you know how like Yggdrasil connects to all the different realms. There we go, realms. What if each level is a different realm, so to speak? So I cannot wait. I am hype. See you guys in 2 weeks and take care. Peace. If there's anything I forgot or left out, please let me know. But other than that, this phenomenal chapter, and way to leave us off. Anyway, thank you guys for being here with me. Please, have a great weekend. Monday through Friday, it's gonna be rough, but we got Halloween coming up, so get some candy, party, dress up, have a great ass time. Take care, peace, and please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.